So now we've
So
taken a
now,
different approach. We've changed our name to Has Been.
Clean down there.
Welcome to Cue the Bike. I'm Darren Worth.
I'm the ultrately handsome and debonair Randy Twyford.
it's a big word for you.
It is, really.
And I'm Emma
spell
Derflinger.
And
And I'm
nobody
Emma
cares.
Derflinger. This is episode 116 for anybody that does care. My mom might.
And this episode is brought to you by the First National Bank of
Orangeville.
Harnsville.
Been with
With
us since
the-
1862.
And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the fly blood all over Randy. He's got a horse fly in the office today.
Yeah, if you couldn't hear
And
it
he's
already.
He's a dive bomber.
That's what happens when you live out on the farm and you don't shut the screen door.
Our screen doors have been shut. A little bastard gets in here somehow, so. He's going to wish he never checked into the Twyford house. Because he's going to meet his maker. And here's his maker. First National Bank of Orangeville.
Of Harnsville.
You've already swung it and missed.
I know.
Thank you for that sponsorship of one used fly swatter. If anybody wants to up that and sponsor our next episode, let us know what you're going to send us.
Yeah.
Did we just ask for sponsors?
No, we're just kidding.
Just
I was gonna say.
around.
You guys won't be able to say 99% of the things you say if we have sponsors.
And sorry we're late. Everybody's sending me messages going, "What? No podcast? What? No podcast?"
I
Emma, did
gave
you not
him-
put
yes,
on there
I
at
did.
the end?
I did. So you're telling me that not everyone went to the end of the podcast?
Evidently not.
I even think.
Well, sorry. We were busy. Darren was traveling.
I was gonna say we.
Okay, Darren was traveling. He was in an airport yesterday. He was driving. He was in an airport, planes, trains, automobiles.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Where'd you
By the
go?
time I got home, I was plumb tuckered by the time I got done
imagine. What time did you
yesterday.
finally get home?
Well, we got home at like 6:00.
Okay.
But then, we're in the middle of a house remodel.
Oh, okay.
So the flooring guy was coming in this morning. So you know what that meant? That mean we had to move. I have a prep kitchen at home. So I have a commercial double door refrigerator, commercial double door freezer. I have racks and racks of spices and all kinds of stuff and vacuum sealers, which all had to be moved out. And then I had antique tables and all, 5,000 pictures and cabinets, and all had to be moved to one side of the room so they could do the floor so we could move it back to the other side of the room.
Other side.
So
Understood.
I feel like I might as well have just moved. Right?
Yeah.
Are you kind of
Might as
finding
well.
stuff you didn't realize you had? One of those deals?
Oh, that was last week.
Oh, okay. That was last
Yeah,
week.
and they cleaned out the garage, remember?
Oh, yeah.
That's
That's
when we
right.
cleaned out the garage. That's when we had the barbecue sale.
Oh, okay. That's right.
No, we haven't even had the barbecue sale yet. We're thinking about
But,
we should have a barbecue sale.
But if anybody's interested,
Not a bad idea.
Everybody's interested. We got all kinds of barbecue shit.
I can only
all
imagine.
kinds. All kinds.
Because as I looked
I had to
around
focus.
in my garage today trying to figure out, because today we had to take out all the dishwashers. Yeah. Because people are like, oh, dishwasher. Yeah, I have 2 dishwashers in my house.
Right.
But I got great news today about my dishwashers.
Yeah.
By putting the new floor, so we're putting these, my lovely bride, I love her. By putting these new laminate floors on top of the tile floors that we have, it raises them enough that now my Thermador dishwashers, because I have 2 of them in my prep kitchen, And people think, why would you have two dishwashers? I fill two dishwashers all the time. Especially when you have family over, you fill two dishwashers and then you have to do another load by hand.
Sure.
So now the new kitchen has three dishwashers in it, believe it or not. But the two dishwashers are a 1/4 inch too tall.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So I looked at the contractor and he's like, what do you want me to do? Because we're getting new countertops. Do you want me to put a piece to raise the countertops all a 1/4 inch and try and stain it to match? And I'm like, no, they're 7 years old. They're going to, as soon as we do that, them dishwashers are going to go bad anyway.
Right.
And second of all, my bride hates those fucking dishwashers and always has since the day she put them in. So we're just getting new dishwashers too.
And they'll be the right height. The right height.
They'll be the right height. Evidently, the ones that we ordered, the Thermador ones, they matched all my stove and they were matching ensemble.
Right.
But they're not even in that room, right? As all my other stuff. Kind of a package deal came. Evidently, they build their stuff taller to make it. I don't know. They build it taller to make it more expensive. I don't know. Shit. I don't
Just
know.
to jackass around with you.
Just to jackass around. So jackass around. So when you raise your floors 3/8 of an inch, it won't fit.
Right. Amazing.
So I do have two really nice dishwashers for sale.
Would that be a consignment to your barbecue sale?
Maybe. Probably going to be a consignment to my damn dumpster. Even though they work perfectly, I like them. Sherry just doesn't like them.
Yeah.
So yeah, you should just sell them if they work.
And then have people come into the house all the time wanting to look at them.
Yeah. I hate people.
Well, if you're taking them out.
What are you going to do? Take them out by the road and put a thing for sale, $250, leave your money in a box.
That's what we did in Puerto Rico. Just take it and put it out by the road. We never put how much you want to sell it for. If you just want to get rid of it, put it out by the road. Somebody will pick it up.
You could put it in the garage, put them in the warehouse, and just have somebody.
No. If I put it in the garage, I'm going to get yelled at by my wife. If I put it in the warehouse, I'm also going to get yelled at by my work wife.
Yeah, that's fair. She'll
Right?
be pissed.
Right?
Yeah. Fair.
It's just a no-win situation.
Well, let me tell you a win situation.
Let's talk about wins. Randy, we're all about wins.
The win, besides the fly going to get splattered here in a little bit, he's not going to win. I will win.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Just kind of normal me looking out the window. We got our generator back.
What?
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Did you
I went
hear
to
that,
St. Louis,
folks?
I went to St. Louis and on Friday, and they put the generator back in the truck, and it works fine.
Woo woo.
Now that was for anybody counting days or anything. It was actually right at 30 days that we were without a generator.
30 days.
Yeah, 30 days, half past September or whatever. It was the 27th is when we got it back.
Huh.
So I think I was the closest.
For everybody that put bets on, nobody thought it would go that long.
I didn't either.
I had an idea.
And then when I got down there, the guy that installed it and everything and had run all the tests and telling me all the testing and pressurizations that they had done to it and everything, he had it running and I was getting ready to leave and he goes, "You want me to, let me go ahead and turn that off." And I go, "No, don't turn it off." He looked at me and goes, "Why not?" I said, "Because I'm going to leave that son of a bitch running all the way home. And just so you know, if I get home and that generator's not running, I'm going to call you. And then I'll be bringing the truck back down for you to fix it free gratis." "Oh, okay. We'll be here." I'm like, and it ran all the way home.
They were like, "Okay, guy, whatever you say."
They knew I was a little edgy
they're
about
like-
the whole
they're like,
"situation."
Fuck that Jacksonville guy. When he answers, don't even answer the phone.
Yeah, you see the 217-370 come up. It's a pain in the ass, which I knew they were doing anyway. because on my weekly phone calls.
Hey,
They
what are you
disconnect
drinking?
their number.
Is that a Mick Ultra?
No, it's a cold brew latte from
Do you
Skip the
think
Brew.
do you think you really need that this late in the day, Randy?
Yes, I do.
Randy, you do whatever you want. I need
Thank
a
you, Emma.
coffee.
I was going to drink a coffee, and just because we always drink coffee while we're recording, and coffee didn't sound refreshing enough for me, so
I get that.
I found a couple cans of this cold brew, Skip the Brew latte.
What
What do you got in yours?
What do you got in your cup?
Water.
Yeah, I'm coring. I'm to the core.
Mine's
I should be
not
water.
that bougie. I just tap water. The Des Moines tap water, so it has a little flavor.
Little nitratey flavor.
A little
So
bit
we're
like
pretty excited that we don't have to. We actually took the generator out of the van and put it away where it belongs. And I was like, "There's no reason to put it in the shed. Bring it up here in the garage where it belongs." And tomorrow's our first day with our generator. So now we can run.
Let's just cross our fingers.
Yeah, exactly. Now we can run air conditioners and electronic devices and not have to worry about blowing the breaker on the generator all the time.
I love that.
And I got the invoice today for how much it cost to fix it. And I'm not going to reveal that.
You're not?
No,
Why?
it's too much.
You know, Randy, I will trade you that generator bill for the past 30 days maintenance bills.
No,
of
no.
ours.
I know. And I mean, it's fixed and it's done. And we've had it 7 years, I think, 6 or 7 years. And, it's still running. So let's put it this way. The hour meter on it, I told the guy, I said, now once you redo these and stuff, I said it resets it back, the hours back to 0, right? He goes, no. And he looked at it and there's 248 hours on it. I said, well, why is the thing saying 248 hours? He goes, because once it gets to 5,000 hours, it resets to 0. So that's why it's reset and it's already got 248 hours on it. Now you tell me a fucking generator isn't supposed to run over 5,000 hours. That's bullshit.
Think about that. 5,000 hours. And let's say it ran, let's say it just had a normal job and ran 8 hours a day. That's only 625 days.
A couple years.
That's only a couple of years.
Yeah.
Huh. Which now you remind me of another day as went past where I forgot to call about getting my generator in with the RV.
Huh. That's been over a week now.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you've been a little busy. But we're excited. Generator's back in business, so we're good to go. We can go places and be cool there with the air conditioners running when we get there. Now, once we turn the fryers on and the exhaust hood, the guys can't figure that out. It'll be cool till we turn the fryers on, but it's not going to keep it cool in there all the time with the fryers and the exhaust hood going.
Right.
But it'll be once we close it up, it'll be a little gentler on my appliances.
Yeah, we just we talking about being gentler on appliances. So I get it. This morning I'm sitting there. It's like 5:45 this morning, and here comes one of the guys out of the meat room and says, "Hey, just so you know, the outside." So we've got an ice. It's an ice bin outside, that you store ice in. Mm-hmm. So we don't store ice in it anymore, but we've always stored stuff. that was frozen, and it keeps it frozen. It doesn't freeze stuff, but it keeps frozen stuff frozen,
Oh, okay.
right? And so I bought it a few years ago, and so they're like, we walked outside. It's at 72 degrees. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Yeah, it's been at 72 for a little while because when I opened the door, it really didn't stink, but everything's thawed. Oh, that's nice.
How much
So
stuff was in there?
we had like backup cases of French fries and stuff, but the biggest thing that we were storing out there was brisket fat.
Oh boy.
So like if we have extra fat that we'll trim off the top of our points,
Right.
we'll save that fat and we cryovac it, and then we grind that up and put that brisket fat in with our burger
Sure. Sure.
for our weekly special. So now our brisket points are coming in actually with not a lot of extra fat on them. So now we have run dry on brisket fat.
Hmm.
So now I don't have enough brisket fat to make burgers.
So what are you going to do?
Well, we're not sure.
Okay.
The guys in the meat room said, "Why don't we just buy a case of Packer briskets, and we'll cook one case of Packer briskets, and and then we'll trim the fat off the Packer briskets, and then we'll process them through like normally, and save the fat off." And then I looked at the price of Packer briskets, and I said, "Not a chance."
What are your price on Packer briskets?
Well, it was crazy. I mean, and maybe I was, and I didn't really take a quick gander on that, but when I looked, it scared me. Let me look it up while we're on here. Um, oh, maybe I was looking at. Okay, it wasn't well. So here I can get beef brisket whole AAA Canada briskets for 603 a pound.
Oh wow.
I can get choice flats for 466 a pound.
Choice flats for 460 something a
Well,
pound?
let me see. That's probably zero in stock. Sorry. That's the problem.
Because I've
You
been
tease.
pricing flats today. I got a big catering coming up in a couple weeks, and I need brisket for 500.
Boy, I'm looking at all these. Boy, there's no inventory at all on any of this.
Well, I was pricing brisket flats today, and from the one place that I can get them from, last week they were 7.94, and they went up to 8.15 a pound this week.
Ooh,
But the best price I can find is Sam's Club, believe it or not, at 7.98.
wow! Here's the only ones they're showing. They're showing Braveheart brisket flat choice, 887 a pound.
Well,
Ooh,
so my
doggy.
guy's not too far out of line.
Here's beef choice Decaloff, 586 a pound.
We always have a surcharge, of $1.75 for caterings for sliced brisket. I think we're going to have to bump that up to like 2.5.
Oh, we've been at 2.5 forever.
Have you really?
Yeah, we've been at 2.5 forever. So now I'm looking at trying to figure out what cut of beef I can get because I need to find some brisket fat that I need to find a piece of meat that is really fatty
Right.
that I can smoke and get some flavor on and then grind to make my burger. So I'm wondering like a beef navel or something like that.
Right.
So I got to find something that I need to talk to my meat guys and say, hey, what's out there that's cheap, that's super fatty, that I can, I don't care if it's 50-50 fat, that I can
Right.
buy halfway cheap, that I can throw in the smoker and get some smoke on that fat, because I'm worried about the fat more than I am, because I'm trying to hold the texture of the burger. I mean, I
Right.
could just, we re-smoke the burger, so is anyone going to be able to tell? I don't know, but we've always done it that way, and I hate to lose
Sure.
that.
Well, and I think these beef prices are going to keep getting higher and higher. I've kind of, a lot of people, they say they got hooked on TikTok, watching this or watching that. Well, I've got watching cattle auctions and the results from cattle auctions. They're selling feeders at like 700 pounds, $2,800. Unreal.
Yeah.
And they still haven't poured, and they're getting to the point in life where you got to really pour the grain to them.
Yeah.
I haven't been following the grain markets to see what they're doing, but I mean, I think the whole beef deal is gonna, it's out of hand, and it's getting more out of hand.
It's going to get fugly.
Yeah.
It's going to
And
get
on the truck we use chopped brisket, and I'm glad somebody enlightened me and we did that move. Because we're just chopping full briskets.
How did your chuck roll? Because, Randy, you were going to test a chuck roll.
It didn't turn out really well.
It didn't.
It seemed a little dry, and I couldn't even use my imagination and get a brisket flavor out of it. There's something about it must have had more fat in it. A brisket has more fat than the chuck roll does. Even though that chuck roll was pretty well marbled, but it just didn't have that brisket flavor to it.
Huh.
So
Emma seems kind of bored today.
No, I'm struggling. I'm exhausted. I don't know what's going on.
Would you have a hard day at work?
No, I'm just physically so tired. I don't know what's going on. I just can't stay awake. I'm struggling to stay awake today.
You are.
Well, we've got
You
invigorating
go ahead.
conversations.
You go ahead and just take a nap, and we'll just feel free to talk amongst ourselves.
I'm here. I just don't have anything to say about brisket prices and all that. I don't know.
I think she's been staying up all night, Randy.
Okay, that's first of all, fucking gross. Second of all, no. I know what you were implying.
Yeah, this. Yeah, I know what we were implying too. That's why I did
gross. That's gross.
I mean, even listeners that weren't watching, when they're hearing that,
they got a pretty good idea.
That's what I'm saying. That's gross. Gross. It wasn't. No. It's the stupid dogs. They're not stupid. I like them. They're just.
What are you doing with dogs?
No, not what the fuck. What the fuck? No, what?
I'm chasing the fly.
I meant they keep waking up to have to go outside. Stupid.
Well, don't give them water.
I don't think. Well, yeah, I do. They have access. They're toilet dogs. They always have water. Yeah, my dogs drink out of the toilet. Come at me.
I'm not coming at you, but would you drink out of the toilet?
No, but if I give them a fresh bowl of water every day, and it gets half drank, and they drink out of the toilet instead. I don't know. It's their preference. I don't make the rules. I just let them do whatever they want.
Then they gotta go out.
Dog.
Pee.
Do you ever have to clean the toilet, or do they just lick around the?
Okay, I clean the toilet first.
Do they ever get blue stains on their teeth from?
You guys are.
When you eat those.
I regret
mints and
you
stuff.
Know what? Today is one of those days where I just regret opening my own mouth.
When they smile, it's blue teeth.
Let's go back to talking about Beef prices.
Well, and I
Yeah,
ate
that's
something
true.
kind of really old school today for lunch. I was
Yeah.
Okay,
over in
let's see.
Springfield running some errands, chasing briskets, and I went to PT's Barbecue over on Martin Luther King Drive in Springfield on the east side, and had rib tips. And they were some of the best stuff I've had in I don't know how long. I mean, they had a nice, and they were cooking them on an oil barrel, so you know they're good.
Oh,
The old oil barrel deal, where the lid it had a chimney on it, but no smoke was coming out of the chimney. It was all coming out of where the lid fits down. You
oh,
know,
look at there. PT's rib tips.
yeah, there you
Ooh,
go. They were
that's
good.
Oh, damn
Had
it, Randy.
They had a nice barbecue, a smoke flavor to them, real nice smoke flavor. Their barbecue sauce was excellent, very
There's
good.
PT. There's PT himself.
There you go. He's slapping them ribs. Over on
Damn.
Martin Luther King Drive, if you're in Springfield, I would highly suggest it. And I know we have a few listeners from Springfield, and go over to PT's, and it's on just north of Laurel, I think. Just north of Laurel, around the corner from the fish spot,
From
fried
what?
fish. Oh, there's I can't remember what
He's
the
at
name of it.
he's at 1301 South Martin Luther King in
Yeah, 1301
Springfield,
south
Illinois.
corner of Martin Luther King and Laurel, just up the
Huh.
block a little ways. Highly
Reminds me
recommend
when
it. Is very
reminds
good.
me when remember when Famous Dave brought us limbs on the
Yes.
south side of Chicago. Ooh, baby, I'd drive all the way to south side of Chicago just to have some limbs right
Yeah,
now.
they I would put them up there with limbs.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, they
wow,
were.
that's good.
I mean, I just needed a little something to eat on the way home because I didn't eat lunch, and I pretty well had that clamshell emptied up by the time I got home. But I saved some for my bride, and she was
You
very
did.
appreciative of it. She thought
Huh.
they were very good, also.
You saved the bones for her or the gristle for her or what?
No, I was just random, just random.
Did you bite through the gristle or did you save it?
Oh yeah, no, I bit through the
You,
gristle,
you bit through the gristle.
chewed the
Old
shit
school.
out of it, just like a wild dog, and it was good.
Damn.
So very interesting lunch. Walk in the
Very
door and
interesting.
there's just a opening about 2 foot by 3 foot with a sign on it that says "Do not stick your head in the hole." Do not stick your head in the hole. And
should just be a rule of life.
they only take
Oh.
cash and Cash App. That's all they take.
Cash and Cash App.
Yeah.
No Venmo,
No. No
no
Venmo,
PayPal.
PayPal, or any of those things. Just cash and Cash App.
Reminds me of sticking. I just sent you guys a picture.
Am I
Oh,
gonna
I'm
be
on Do
scared
Not.
of opening this?
I'm on Do Not Disturb. Oh, I got it. Motherfuck.
Darren, like sometimes
Talking about sticking your head in the hole.
I just don't want to see stuff like that. I
Let me
just
go
don't.
to it. Oh my. Hello, 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 hello.
Hello, hello,
You guys are weirdos.
Do you know RV air conditioners are hard to come by now?
They are?
Yeah.
Why?
The back because they can. The back air conditioner wasn't working on the food truck, so I had them come and look at it. Well, of course the compressor's locked up, which means you need a new unit.
I'm an expert at installing those, by the way.
ACs are high right now and hard to come by. It should be around $1,800 installed.
What?
Yeah.
Installed?
Yeah.
You can order it on Amazon. It's only 4 bolts, Randy.
Fix it. We're spending
Boom.
money like we got it. Spend it. So that way we don't have any more. So I tell them
Yeah,
boys when they start complaining about it being hot and everything, I said, keep it up, boys. We got a generator to pay for. Now we got an
that's
air
right.
conditioner to pay for.
Damn. Yeah, I know. We just spent 6,000, 7,000 bucks on a compressor for a walk-in freezer.
Really?
Yeah. Not been a good week.
Oh,
Then again, I was a little late for the podcast because I just got $70,000 worth of Old Hickory pits delivered too.
Yes.
So
Yeah. What are you going to do with the old ones?
I'm going to sell them probably. No, well, first I'll probably go home and put them in my garage and let my wife bitch at me for about 3 months
Right.
about them taking up space. I don't know. I think I got one of them sold, but I got to get rid of them.
What'd you get? ELDXs?
I got 2 new ELEDXs and a new SSJ.
wow.
Now,
Replaced
what's
the
the
whole
SSJ?
inside. It's the 1,500 pounder.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I replaced the whole inside fleet. I got the
Okay.
outside fleet still. I still got 2 EDXs outside, but I replaced the whole inside fleet. Got to do that every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And this just happened to be the time.
Old Hickory was
Makes
wanting to get
sense.
some. Their fiscal year ends the end of June, doesn't it?
Does it?
I think it does. I think July 1st is their beginning of their fiscal year.
Huh.
So,
I wonder
so
if there
Alex,
was one.
huh?
What? Oh, I bought these back last year.
Oh, really? They're that far behind.
Maybe I didn't buy them. No, I bought them this year. I guess I bought them earlier in the year.
Okay.
I got on my Christmas spending spree early,
Oh, okay. Well,
so I don't have to worry about it.
now how many? I'm not familiar with these SSJs. How many? Is that the one that is tall? That the food goes
Yep. Yep.
taller up?
It's got 5 carousels of 5 racks, same as the LEDX, but 5 of 5.
Well, an ELDX only has 3 racks.
Right. This has 5 racks.
5 racks to a carousel.
5 racks to a carousel, but instead of 4 carousels, this has 5 carousels.
5 carousels. Will you
Yep.
load it completely up?
Oh yeah. That's our
I
rib
didn't know.
cooker.
That's what you use for your ribs?
That's our rib cooker, yeah.
How many ribs can you
Now,
get on there?
well, but we won't fill the 5. We'll usually run the 5 times 3,
Right.
right? So
So you don't have to rotate them?
Right. So we'll do 5 carousels times 3 racks. That's 15 racks times 9 per rack. That's about 135 to 150 racks at a time on it.
Right.
So,
Which is a drop in the bucket for your Father's Day racks.
yeah,
Ribs.
well, we have to cook the other ones, but on a normal day, we'll run 2 rounds. On a weekend, we're going to run 3 rounds through her.
Will you really?
Yeah,
That's a lot of friggin' ribs.
a lot of ribs, a lot cheaper than brisket.
Yeah, no shit.
You know, a lot cheaper than brisket. You know, hell, we can buy a rack of ribs for what? We can buy a rack of ribs for $8.50.
Yeah. And that's even I think I've got like 650 in mine and they're peeled. And because I'm getting
ours aren't peeled, but we're running big ribs, 3 1/4, 3 1/2.
Okay. Well, I'm running baby backs, so
Baby back.
baby back. If I was running those big ribs like that, I could make my own rib tips.
No, we're not running spares. We're running St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I do trim some. I do trim some St. Louis. I trim some competition ribs once in a while down that I could get some rib tips going
Yeah. I'm kind of sold on rib tips.
for this week.
Yeah. I need to get my jalapeno sausage on the market.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
I
seller.
think this might be the week to do it.
People like it. What
Mm-hmm.
else is going on?
Well, you just got back from a barbecue contest, didn't you?
Yeah. Let's talk about
I
the
did. We did
not
world.
so.
We're world traveled. We made the trek to Blackfoot, Idaho again.
Blackfoot, Idaho. Now, where's that at in Idaho?
So that's in clear
Blackfoot.
eastern
Blackfoot.
Idaho, which is kind of the western side of the Grand Tetons.
Oh. Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah. So beautiful country.
I
Beautiful
bet.
country. I love it. I love it there. I probably wouldn't love it so much in the wintertime, but this time of
Right,
year, and the locals were all bitching that it was hot. It was 90 degrees, but it's like high desert.
right,
We're at 4,500 elevation, so it was 90 degrees, and they were all going, "It's hot, it's hot." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? This feels like it's 60 out here."
right.
I mean, it was nice. I was sitting out in the sun. They were all trying to find shade, and I was like in the sun in my black shirt, and they're like, "Do we need to get you a tent?" And I'm like, "No, why? It's beautiful out here.
You're right. Low
No
humidity and
humidity,
everything.
no humidity, man. It was awesome."
Huh.
So anyway, we went to a contest because it was an automatic qualifier to the Jack.
Right,
So we went out there last year, remember, and we cooked the 1 can challenge. So we
right,
cooked the whole contest on a 1 can. So we did the same thing this year, except for I had Anella, and she brought one last year, but I had her bring a small little can too. So, and I was going to focus on 1 can, but I had the 1.5 can. And so I was prepping my meat, and I've been cooking brisket points for burn ins for the last couple months.
right,
And I've kind of figured out how to cook these Wagyu. You just got to cook the piss out of them. You just got to
right,
almost forget about them
right,
Forget
in the
about it.
cooker, and they turn out really well. And so I didn't even bring enough injection to, I injected my brisket, didn't bring enough injection to inject my brisket point, but I just threw it in the Cambro, and I'm like, okay, well then all night long I stewed to myself. I'm like, you need to cook that point. Well, cooking a 1 can challenge, I had the brisket flat, which was one of the biggest, thickest brisket flats I'd had in a long, long time, which was not really what I needed for this challenge. But nonetheless, it
it
was a
is what
nice
it
flat.
is.
And I had 4 pork collars, and I had 3 racks of ribs, and then a bunch of chicken legs. And so I'm like, there's no way, because I can cook the pork and the brisket on there, and I can lean my ribs on the ends on my special racks that I carried in my suitcase with me.
Uh-huh.
But there's no way I could put that point on there. There's no way I had room for that point on there. So as I was restless sleeping throughout the night, I'm like, just light the damn small can and cook on there. Well, so in essence, what I ended up doing, so I ended up cooking my brisket flat and my point on the big can, and I cooked my pork on the small can since it was going to be lit.
Right.
And I brought a diffuser plate, put it in my suitcase too. Had a lot of things in my suitcase. The
Sounds like it.
TSA was probably wondering what the fuck's this
Uh-huh.
guy doing.
Right.
He's got
I'm
Weber
surprised you got
grill.
through with all that stuff.
He's got a half a Weber grill in here. He's got a diffuser plate. He's got knives. He's got all kinds of shit. Anyway, so I cooked my pork on it, which I love the way the canned cooked pork. So I cooked my brisket, and then I cooked my ribs. The pork got kind of was getting done, so I ended up wrapping my pork and putting it over on the big can and then I wrapped my ribs and put them on the small can. But then the brisket point, I just threw down on the diffuser plate because I just wanted to forget about it. So I
Right.
just threw it down there and let it sit there the whole cook after I got it wrapped. And so I did my usual forget that you're cooking on a can. It's just heat. It's
Right.
just whatever. So we had about 30 minutes there that Sherry had to leave the room because I was getting a little, what would you call that? I think it was
Agitated?
pissed off. No, I wasn't
Oh.
Okay.
pissed off. I was just, I had to
Edgy.
make some, I had to make, yeah, edgy. I had to make some decisions. And she started to go, well, what? And I'm like, I'm just like, I can't talk because I'm trying to make decisions. And I'm kind of holding up my hands going, just shut the fuck up. I need to think here for a second. And
Right.
I think she got the clue because she just went up in the front of the U-Haul and never said a word. And everything was fine. And I worked through it because I had a problem that I lit the can at quarter to 4 in the morning. Well, those small cans don't hold a fire for 10 hours.
Right.
So I got into this cook, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there and the fire starts to go out.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, son of a bitch. And it just so happens to be at the time that my ribs aren't in the foil yet, and I got to put chicken on. And I still got brisket, both brisket point and brisket flat in the wrap on the can. And I need to disassemble this small can and restart it.
Oh Jesus.
Well, we all know that you can't just put meat that's not exposed to foil on a can that just got lit with charcoal.
Right.
We all
So
know that.
here,
Yes.
here, well, if you didn't, you do know now.
You've learned it now.
You've learned it now. So at one point, I had my brisket, both briskets on the can, and then 3 racks of ribs on top of it. But the ribs were actually foiled at that point.
Okay.
And on top of that was a rack of chicken, triple stacked. I was triple stacking.
Triple stacking.
And it actually turned out okay. But it gave me enough time. I needed to do that for about a half hour in order to get that other can up to temperature
Right.
and back where I could start transferring stuff over. And as soon as I transferred it over, then the big can started losing temperature.
Oh
and I'm
shit.
like, what the hell? And then I was able to but then I looked inside it. It still had half a thing. Well, I made a mistake, mixed up all the coals in there, which what did that do? You put fresh coals in there and kind of mixed it all up. And then it created all kinds of smoke. So now I got to get everything over on the small can. So now I'm triple stacking on the small can.
How did you triple stack? Did you just lay it on top of each other, or did you have
Yeah.
racks?
No, I just laid, on the small can, I actually had a diffuser plate. So I had a pan. I had a pan in there that had the brisket point. The brisket actually came off. So I had the
Right.
brisket point on the diffuser plate. Then I had a rack with my ribs that were wrapped. And then I had another rack on top of it with chicken on it
Okay.
because I had to keep the chicken going.
Sure.
And so I was constantly looking for clean smoke. I was just trying to adapt and overcome. It was
Right.
a shit show for a little bit, but I kept saying
Sounds
to
like it
myself,
could have
Darren,
been.
but I'm like, hey, Darren, it's just heat. I kept saying to myself, it's just heat and it's just barbecue. Just make sure you get this shit done. Brad Leininger always says, cook to color, and wrap at color and cook to tenderness, right? So
Right.
wrap at color, cook to tenderness. So I'm like, I just got to get this stuff to good color, and then I need to wrap it. I need to make sure I get it tender. And that's one thing that, since you're cooking at elevation, most people use a thermometer and go, hey, I'm going to take this pork up to 208, 209, whatever. Well, when you're at 4,500 feet, the boiling point's 204. So you're
Okay.
never going to go above 204 on the gauge. Okay, your thermometer's never going to go above that from a meat temperature. So everything above there is a guess. So now you become just a feel. So now we become old school cooking. So it's just all about matter of feel. Well, on the can, you kind of have to overcook things because as you rest things, they tend to tighten up.
Right.
So anyway, we went through. Chicken wasn't getting done. I was able to transfer it across to the big can, trying to hold my one rule of don't get above 275. It actually got above 290, but just to get
Oh,
it done. But I got my chicken done.
Well, that's good.
I went to taste the chicken, burnt the fuck out of my mouth. I thought it was way too spicy. And then Sherry tasted it and she was like, this isn't spicy at all. Well, I just burnt my tongue, so I couldn't taste anything.
Right. Right.
Um, so ended up getting fourth place in chicken, which was a
Well,
nice
that's
welcome.
admirable. How many
Nice,
teams?
nice.
How many teams?
There was 33, I think.
33.
33
Okay.
teams. Yep.
So nice
So
crowd.
I got fourth place in chicken, which was great because chicken, and I cook really the same chicken that I've been cooking, except for I cooked it on the can.
Right.
And I knew canned chicken has been scoring. And I'm like, for the last couple of contests, I'm like, just throw the can in, just cook your chicken on a can. I'm like, it's too much work. I'll just cook it on the pellet grill, cook it on the Jambo. Just throw it on the can. Everybody's scoring with chicken on the can. I'll just cook it on the damn
Right.
pellet grill. I'll just cook it. It's easier that way. Well, I'm throwing the can back on because everybody wants chicken on the can.
Wonder why that is.
I don't know because I can't tell the damn bit of difference between the two, but evidently it has something to do with the can. So anyway, so then we're cooking ribs, and the ribs, I'm not having a lot of, they always worry about ribs blowing out. My ribs aren't blowing out, but they're looking really good. They're feeling really good. So I'm like, okay, I better take these a little bit longer than I think I should. So I take them a little bit longer. I got one rack that's kind of lagging behind. I leave it on just a little bit longer, but then I pull the ribs off, and I'm going, Earlier, I'm like, well, I'm going to go put the ribs in the Cambro. Oh, wait. Who's the dumbass that forgot to empty the ice out of the Cambro?
Oh,
Because he
shit.
was using the
shit.
Cambro as his ice cooler all night long.
Holy
That
shit.
was me. Well, it wasn't at rib time. It was at pork time that I did that. I'm like, oh, hey, dumbass. So they had given us a nice little carrying box, a carrying turn-in box. So I wrapped my pork in that. And then when ribs came off, it was 90 degrees outside. So I just threw them on the table and covered them in a foil pan and, put that. And then
They weren't going to set that long.
when brisket came off, I'm like, what am I going to do with this son of a bitch? So I had a sweatshirt because it got a little chilly in the morning. So I took a sweatshirt and I wrapped my brisket in my sweatshirt and threw it on the table and double stacked it on top of the ribs. So I had my outdoor Cambro going.
Yeah, outdoor.
Everything was outside.
Not looking redneck or anything there.
So we went to turn in ribs, and one rack was like textbook KCBS ribs, like you take a bite out of them, and you could see your teeth marks, but you wanted it to be a little more tender. One rack was a little bit more tender than that, and one rack was pretty tight. So we threw that off to the side, and I told Sherry, I said, hey, let's just go with this one that we know is the most tender.
Right.
So we turned those in. Evidently not tender enough or whatever, 19th place ribs.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, a little disappointed because she thought the ribs were halfway decent, but they tasted good. But anyway, 19th place ribs. Turned in pork, did something different on pork. I cooked pork collars, but since I didn't have enough room to wrap 4 and have room on the cooker for 4, when I wrapped for the first time ever, I just cut the money mussels off and put all 4 money mussels in a little pan, small little pan,
Uh huh.
and wrapped them in a small little pan. I'll tell you, I'll do that forever now. I mean,
Really?
I just cut the money mussel off and threw the rest away. It was awesome.
So
Because
you're just
when I got ready for turning, it was just 4 money mussels. It was
so
awesome.
instead of foiling it, you just put it in a pan
I put it in a pan, covered the pan with foil, little Weber
and
grill
finished
pan.
them
It
off
was awesome.
and finished them
Yep,
off in
finished
there.
them till they were done. And I figured if some got done sooner than the others, I would just pull it out, put it in another pan, dump a little jus out, and put the other ones on.
Right.
And then brisket, I cooked a really good brisket. It was really good brisket. Cooked a really good brisket. I had a lot of confidence in the brisket. Weren't sure about the burn ends. Um, they sat on the cooker all day long, so I took them off after chicken and just kind of threw that on top of the sweatshirt. It was quadruple stacked then.
Quadruple.
I was trying to keep some warmth in there. But anyway, so we turned in pork, turned in some chunks, and turned in. I used every bit of money muscle that I had. I had the little ends is all I had, and I never taste my pork, but I did take a little bite of it, and I said, "Wow, that's pretty damn tasty pork." Ended up getting third in pork.
Okay. All right.
And then turned in brisket, and we cut up the burn ends, and they were rendered. But I gave it to Anella from Snake River and Sherry, and I said, "Here, try these burn ends." And they're like, "These are really, really cooked well, but there's not a ton of flavor to them." And we had about 15 minutes before turning. I said, "Oh, okay, we're gonna make them. We're gonna make them good." So we had some au jus, and I put them in the au jus, and I painted the top of them with sauce, and I threw them in the cooker, and while I was setting the sauce on my brisket and come back out, got ready for turn in, I said, "Here, try another one." And they tried the end. They said, "Just needs a little bit more wow." So I sprinkled a bunch of finished powder on it. And I said, "Sherry, as you put them in the box, I want you to dip it in the saltiness of that finished powder."
Right.
Because remember, I never injected that point at all.
Right.
Oh, great.
Right.
So it never got any of that wow factor from the injection. It was just a regular point. But anyway, we turned those in, end up getting second place brisket.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're going to awards, and it's going back, and Janice from Smellicue. I don't know, Randy, if you know Janice from.
No.
She's from Western Canada. Really, really great cook. She's coming in, and she ends up getting first in chicken, and then she gets second in ribs and hits first in brisket.
Ooh.
Doesn't get a pork call, but we know she has this thing won by a mile.
Right.
And then we're going back and forth, and there's another team out of Utah that I think they didn't. I'm trying to think whether they got a brisket. No, I'm not sure if they got a brisket call or not, but we're neck and neck with them. And we're trying to figure out how bad these ribs were screwed up. Well, they come. We ended up getting third overall. The team from Utah, Slinging Meat, they got reserve. Well, and Smellicue, they ran away with it. They had a 708.
Okay.
They had a 708. While since they're a Canadian team, they don't get the auto bung to the jack because they're Canadian. So they passed that down to the reserve grand team.
Oh.
Well, it just so happens the reserve grand team, Slinging Meat, they edged us out by .03.
Wow.
Which was way less than one appearance point.
Wow.
So the damn ribs at 19th just needed to be 18th.
Yeah.
Or
just one spot up.
Or one of the 3 8s in appearance that we got needed to be a 9.
I don't see how they could give your
coulda,
ribs an 8 in appearance.
Shoulda. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we thought everything looked good. We thought everything was tight, but that's the way the ball bounces. But with the pass down, I mean, we got third. We were happy. It was a great contest. We had a lot of fun. Met some new people.
Let's revisit this Canadian deal. So, Are they an automatic because they're from Canada or
No, so if a Canadian team comes into the U.S. and wins a contest,
right?
they get a bung for their home state, but they
Like
do not. They can't win an automatic to the Jack they can't come to Idaho and win an automatic to the Jack by going to Idaho. Just
really?
as like when I won 3 times in Canada, and they said, "Remember when you won in Canada?" And yeah, and they said, "Well, you can't get an automatic in Canada."
Hmm.
They said, but that's one year they went. Smellicue went to the Jack because they got a bung because, and maybe they didn't go to the Jack, but they got a bung because I was grand, and so they got reserve and they got the pass down. I
Got the
didn't know
pass
that was a
down.
thing. And so afterwards, they're like, "Hey, Sling and me just go to the Jack." I'm like, "No, they don't." And they're like, "Yeah, they do." I'm like, "No, they don't." I'm like, "Yeah, they do." Well, then Christy from Girls Can Grill called the Jack, and they're like, "Yeah, they do." I'm like, then it really set in. I'm like, "Son of a bitch." Now I'm really not like 0.03, and I'm like, "Ugh, so close, so close,
Huh.
but yet so far." So now we've
So
taken a
now,
different approach. We've changed our name to Has Been Barbecue.
I noticed that
Got
on
our
the
license
screen.
plate changed. Yeah, we've
they
got
can't
our.
see that, but
They can't see
Oh,
that.
they can't?
no,
I
I
thought
don't
they
leave our
could.
names on there. Wow,
Yeah.
I don't leave our names on there. I
I'm
don't
like,
actually think it even gives me an option. It's more for us. Actually, I
huh?
feel like maybe it does give me an option. I don't though.
Huh.
I can this episode, I guess, so everybody
Hmm.
can see that Darren was a has been, is a has been.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, but I think I got it figured out. It's ignited my barbecue. I've got it figured out. I think I'm going to throw the can on. I'm going to cook my pork and chicken on the can and my ribs and brisket on the Jambo.
Right.
Boom, boom.
And then I'm just going to finish everything on the Traeger.
Why not?
Why do you finish everything on the Traeger?
So I can let the other stuff go out and I don't have to keep tending a fire. And
Okay.
you know what I mean? It's just convenient.
Okay. All right.
I
I
mean,
didn't know.
all you're trying to do is set sauce on chicken and ribs and stuff, and you're really not looking for any smoke flavor. I'm just looking for
That son of a bitch.
that son of a bitch. That
He was on
flies
my
back.
chin.
Whoa. I would say something, but I'll get in trouble.
I still got my trusty
Yeah, we
First
see.
National.
So anyway, so yesterday we made the trek home. So we flew into Salt Lake, and so it's about 2.5 hour drive up to Blackfoot. So we got up early yesterday morning and drove as the sun rose through the mountains. We
Ooh.
I bet
drove
that's
back
pretty.
oh, it's just beautiful. I mean, we didn't drive through mountains. It's just rolling hills, but
Right.
we watched the sun come up on the way back to Salt Lake, and then we flew to Vegas because that was our route on Southwest.
Yeah.
It's the only flight I could get, which worked. So we spent an hour in Vegas and then flew back to Des Moines.
Huh.
So
Kind of an all-day
overall,
process getting home.
all day process
Mm-hmm.
getting there, but well worth it. That contest was awesome. And on the way, as I was taking off out of Las Vegas, I was booking my next Boise trip for the fall. We're going back out to Idaho for a
Okay.
contest over Labor Day weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so but because next year there'll be 2 contests in Idaho, so it won't be an automatic, but it's still nonetheless fun.
If you
And
win
I
it,
think
you got a 50-50.
Yeah, but I think I'll still hit both of them just because it's just fun. There's just
Nice
we've met some,
contest.
yeah, nice contest, great organizers, just a lot of fun.
Huh.
Met some new teams we'd never met before. Um, really got excited. Met a team out of Colorado, Heifers, Butts, and Clucks, I think it was the name of the team, and they had their young kids with them, and I think they were trying to throw us off because they had their kids during turn-in. They put their kids in the back of the pickup truck, little girls, right? Put them in the back of the pickup truck, and they were trying to sell rocks, just rocks,
Just rocks.
and they were yelling out, "Rocks for sale! Rocks for sale!"
Oh,
And they were
boy.
selling rocks for $1. And Anella was in my trailer, and I'm like, they were just constantly, these kids, "Rocks for sale, rocks for sale." And they were kind of right across from us. And I'm like, "Anella, go keep them occupied. Go buy some rocks." So I get $5 out of my pocket. I said, "Go buy some rocks. I got to do turn-ins." So that morning earlier, we were talking about a new venture that they were doing called Timber and Tallow, where they were trying to open up kind of a high-end catering, but also maybe open a restaurant. And they'd never heard of Cue the Mic. And so I said, "Oh, you got to listen to Cue the Mic." And he goes, "Start at episode 1." I'm like, "Not a chance. Skip
Not
episode
a
1, 2,
chance.
3. Matter of fact, episode 1 doesn't have anything to do with episode 2, does it?" I said, "I would start current and just start working your way backwards."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But
Yeah.
anyway, we're at awards, and I was talking to their mom, and I'm like, "You did that rock thing on purpose." I said, "You were trying to just annoy me, weren't you?" And she goes, "Well, yeah, but we do it so kinda, but it's so the kids can earn. That's how they earn snack money for their drive home." She makes them earn if they want to stop and get snacks for the way home. They have to earn their money.
Gee,
That was
Christmas.
brilliant. I thought it was brilliant. It was funny, but overall, just a great. This organizer he's an anesthesiologist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he's just an amazing. Goes out of his way. I mean, delivered donuts to your site Saturday morning after turn-ins were done. Comes around with ice cream bars. Of course,
Oh, really? That's neat.
Of course, I can't have either one. But
Right.
I mean, I could have had donuts, but I didn't. And I can't have the ice cream. It's fine. It was still the thought that counts.
Sure it is. Sure it is.
The guys across from us enjoyed them.
Yeah.
But yeah, just out of the way. It's at an airstrip. It's out at an airfield. So really good.
Oh,
You
really?
got planes coming and going. Yeah, and it's their town festival. So they pretty big crowd on Friday night, and just in the hotels right up the street. Walmart's right up the street. I went to Walmart like 30 times, I think. When you know something's that close, you don't really have to make a list. You're like, if I forget it, I'll just go back.
Right.
Go back. And so you did.
I think I spent $400 at Walmart. It's like, I need this. I'll just go to Walmart and get it. I think I need this. I'll just go to Walmart and get it. So that's what we did all weekend long, was go to Walmart and got it. So lots of fun.
Good.
Lots of fun. Well, good.
I was all excited to go cook again this weekend, but there's really nowhere to cook.
Oh,
4th
man.
of July weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we could go to Dillon, Montana,
Right.
but yeah, I don't think.
Is that an automatic out there, or?
No, I don't think so.
No. That's a lot.
And then I got all excited that there's one in Salt Lake in a few weeks. I'm like, well, let's go back to Salt Lake. It's a 1 in 2 chance because, the chances end at the end of December or at the end of July
Right.
to get into the Jack. And I'm like, let's go out there. And then I'm sure he's like, yeah, let's do it. And then I looked, and it's our granddaughter's birthday. So I probably should not miss that since I'm hosting it.
No.
Since you're hosting it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we're going to cook Omaha. There's a new one in Omaha. It's a 1 in 2 chance, actually.
And for
so we're gonna
Nebraska?
cook Omaha. Yeah.
That's surprising.
Yeah. There's not a lot of contests in Nebraska. So,
There used to be,
We're gonna
didn't there?
yeah, there used to be quite a few, but now there's Papillion, Nebraska. We're going to cook that, put on by a local bar. So we'll see what kind of shit show that turns out to be.
Right.
First year contest.
Oh, boy.
And then we got Emmitsburg, which is the home of the smash burger.
Right.
Where we take burgers and put them in our pockets and walk around and sit on them and hand them out to people at night. But other than that, that's
Other
about
than
it.
that,
Other than that, we're busy.
yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
You're busy?
we're kind of gearing up for that
Yeah.
for the big county fair. So
Oh, you
here
got
in a
the county
couple
fair
weeks,
coming in?
that Menard County Fair, not the Morgan, which is our
Gary
local.
Allen's performing.
And, yeah, is he a pretty big
I
guy?
looked that up.
Are you going?
Yeah. No, I looked it up when he told me
Why? You
about
get
it.
free room and board. Go down to
Yeah,
Twyford
you
House.
stay down here.
No,
Trust me, we're going
that's
to be
okay.
driving back and forth.
No, I don't like Gary Allen that much.
Okay.
But yeah. Anyway,
Anything else?
You know,
I don't think so.
not that I can think of. We're just
Yeah, I think we got all of our trials and tribulations covered.
all our trials and tribulations. Sorry for being a day late, but sometimes shit happens.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Patio's
those
open at the
who
jam.
were-
Patio
Oh,
is
is
open at the jam.
Oh, is it really?
We
Hotter name.
officially opened when I was gone over the weekend. We got approval to open it. So I sent a message on Friday or Thursday and I said, hey, we got approval. I'll leave it up to you guys to open whenever you want. Evidently, they didn't want to. So
They did or
I
didn't?
think, no, they didn't. I don't think we had enough staffing or whatever. I'm not sure
Okay.
what they did, but I think we opened partially today. So I got signs in my truck, no smoking or vaping, no pets, no see the hostess for seating. I got to go hang up all those signs so we can officially be patio haters.
How could you say no to
Compliant.
that?
Well,
Look it.
because
She'd
some
be
people
harmless.
don't want a dog. Some people don't want dog panting.
Look at her.
What do you do if you go
She's
to a
so
patio
cute.
and somebody's allergic to a dog? How do you feel about that?
Oh, my dogs are hypoallergenic, so they shouldn't have a reaction.
Shouldn't. What happens if
Shouldn't.
they do?
Then,
Too
sorry.
fucking bad
Hope
for
you
the
brought your
person?
EpiPen. Yeah, if it's a dog. I mean, if it was a dog-friendly patio.
See,
If it's a dog-friendly patio, that's a risk you have to be willing to take. I'm not saying yours.
right. So guess what? We're a dog leave it at home patio, so everybody can enjoy it.
Leave it at home.
Look at her. She's so cute.
Yeah, they're cute. Matter of fact, I may even put some pictures of dogs on the patio saying, "Hey, we're not dog friendly, but we are dog friendly. Here's some pictures. Enjoy them, but leave yours at home."
Leave yours at home.
That's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
mean. I don't like that.
That's
just mean. Yeah, because then I'm going to think about my dog, and then I'm going to want to leave faster. Maybe I won't even order.
perfect.
I'll be like,
I'm definitely putting that up.
I just said maybe I won't even
ultimate
order.
goal. I want you to eat.
You might not even
and
get my
the
money.
hell out of there.
Anyway,
Turn, baby,
I,
turn.
I did have a Karen episode yesterday. I almost videoed it for TikTok. There's a gal sitting there when we got to Vegas, and there was a gal sitting there, and for some reason she had taken a picture, and her camera went off the flash, and the Southwest gal goes, "Did you take a picture of me?" And she's like, "No." And this gal's wearing a mask, right?
So no.
I won't be judging, but
No.
did you just take a picture of me? No. Well, your flash went off. I'm sorry, I didn't take a picture. Well, I don't approve of that, the Southwest gal. So anyway, all of a sudden the Southwest gal disappears, and up shows two supervisors from Southwest. And they're trying to get, "Ma'am, do you have a problem?" And she's like, "No, I just want to go to my flight." And they're like, "Well, ma'am, this is not your flight. You're going to somewhere else. You're going there." She was trying to go somewhere else. I don't even know where it was. Laramie, I think it was. She goes, "This is a Des Moines flight." And she goes, "Well, this is where they told me to go." She goes, "Well, yeah, ma'am, but you've been here for 3 hours. Sometimes there's gate changes. You have to watch the monitors and stuff because they change gates all the time." well, this is where they told me to go. And the gal is just
Oh,
becoming
Jesus.
just a belligerent shit. And finally, they're like, get her out of there. And she's just trying to, you can tell she's just trying to cause this scene.
Right.
But the Southwest Gate agents, they're on top of it, man. You can tell they're
Sure.
just professionals. They've handled it. And as soon as they get her out of there, they come around and the people are sitting around going, hey, your gate agent, the gal, handled that perfectly. Don't even, they everybody's like, hey, she handled it perfectly. And so the gate agent walks by me and I said, hey, I have a question. And I said, was her name Karen?
Oh.
They laughed at me and I said, have a nice day. I mean, why do people just have to be? You
Look
could
for
tell
something to bitch about.
She just wanted a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could ask ourselves that question all the time. You just
All the
never know.
time. Don't worry. Just be happy.
Don't worry. Boop, boop. Be happy. Anyway. Anything
Okay.
else?
Emma's
Sorry
got
I wasn't
stuff
more
to do.
lively.
Emma's got stuff to do.
I do. I do have a lot of stuff to do.
You
Because
do.
I got a busy week next week. I got a busy week this week. This whole month of July is about to be chaos.
Huh.
Woo. Anyway.
And then we find out
So.
your sister's getting married during Pork Expo next year.
She is? Okay, at one point that wedding was going to be in July. I didn't even know they picked a date, so...
Oh.
Whoops.
Shh.
No. I mean, they booked a bunch of stuff. My sister's decided she didn't want to have, like, the whole shebang. She just wanted to have the ceremony and then let everybody else drink. Nothing. So, throwing a cocktail party.
Brilliant.
It really is. She's doing it the right way. Ceremony with family, cocktail party for everybody else.
Yep.
Come as you please. No stress. Anyway, well, if you haven't already, follow us on social media at Cue the Mic Pod. Find us on YouTube at Cue the Mic Podcast. Like, follow, subscribe, do all the things. You know the drill. Randall, take it away, my guy.
Boom. Out of here. Finished. Done.
Boom. And thanks to First National Bank of
Orangeville.
No,
Orangeville
Not sponsored.
for the fly swatter. They didn't sponsor us. I just thanked them for providing the fly swatter.
I know, but that's how you start a sponsor. Like that's what a sponsorship sounds like.
No.
They didn't pay
We're
us to
not
hype them
sponsored.
up.
They didn't give us a goddamn thing.
Gave me a
Could've.
2-cent fly swatter.
Probably about
That
30
hasn't
years ago too.
Yeah. At
Anyway.
one of their open houses that we catered.
Right.
Then it was free.
He probably stole it off the goddamn counter too.
Anyway,
Yeah.
all right. Well, we will see you guys next week.
Okay.
Adios.